Good afternoon. I understand everybody is trying to digest the food and exchange the last sort of impressions, but let's do the second part, exchanging the impressions together. And so I would like to open the last final kind of session, the closing panel. But before doing that, I would like to have a couple of housekeeping announcements. First, for those of you who have received the invitation from Enterprise Estonia ICT Gala, which is taking place this evening, please be at the hotel lobby at 6:45 p.m. For the transport to the venue, and please bring your invitation. Well, those who don't have invitation like me, well, we'll find something else to do. And second announcement is about these translation interpretation devices. We are missing, I've been told, a couple. So maybe somebody has put them into your pocket, and the pockets are big or somewhere. So if you be kind enough at the end to return those in this to this door there. And third one also, we are missing a camera. So if somebody has seen a loose camera that is hanging around or put it somewhere, could you take it to the hotel reception or conference reception? So, but this said, I think in general we had a good conference. I remember when we started with these conferences, and we had some of you were already here in 2011 when we had a rather big one. Then there were people from this region suggesting that, look, guys, why don't you do this Tallinn conference? And we are very happy that it has come to life, and we are going to proceed with it. So see you next year in that sense. I think there are still a lot of topics really to discuss. I mean, taking even the last panel on the cybersecurity. I mean, well, very interesting speeches, very interesting exchange, but we didn't really talk about data protection issues, which are all our countries are facing. When this advancement of the e-governance takes place, and I deeply believe that it is not only Estonia, but it is going to be all these regions that is going to kind of show off to the rest of the world how the public administration of the 21st century is going to look like. So we have a lot of these issues still that needs to be discussed, where we can change to the mutual benefit the ideas, and so I'm sure we will find a lot of new topics to talk about. So and well, maybe the last thought from my side, in a sense, would be just a reflection back some 22 years, when I started to be interested in e-governance. I mean, I had returned from Canada to Estonia, and we were, and what I was surprised was how people relate to new technologies, how people relate to the movement of information. And I was speculating at that time that it would be something we will see very soon, a major change in our understanding how the countries will look like, how the societies will behave, because there would be this kind of double shock to this region. One is the shock of transparency, that the Iron Curtain was raised, and we had the free exchange of information. And second was that the new technologies were enhancing all this process. And because this is in essence what governance is about, so the governance had to change, as it changed first in the private sector in the US and started to go around the world. I think with the governance part, it actually, our countries where the governance traditions are not so deeply ingrained as in traditional Western countries, we will see these changes more and more. And we actually are participants in all this. And it's going to be a very exciting ride. And we probably won't even know the country or the government that we'll have in 10 years. It's going to be a major innovations waiting for us around the corner. The seeds have been already sown, so I'm sure the harvesting time will come soon too. But now let me give the floor to some of the participants to have reflections on the conference from their behalf. And first, I would like to tell you some things that happened last night, namely in New York at the United Nations headquarters, the new e-government awards were announced last night. I mean, night in our time. And we are happy to announce that the government of Azerbaijan has just been awarded the United Nations Public Service Award in class Improving the Delivery of Public Services. So congratulations. And maybe, Mr. Minister, you would just come and share with us a little bit, I mean, what you did. Well, we've heard from your presentation in a panel very interesting stories already, but maybe to share to others how they could also get these awards in due time. So please, the floor is yours.
Great pleasure for me to be here. During these 3 days, we had very fruitful, very interesting discussions about our activity. And in here presented persons which directly involved to the formation e-governance and development e-governance in our countries. And therefore, we spoke about the same thing, but in some time, unfortunately, we cannot reach our goals which were point for our development. In some case, we needed maybe additional opinion about our activity. And I think such event, this is good opportunity for us heard new ideas, new practice which exist in our countries, share our own best practice which we have, and find new partners, find new colleagues for the future our development. And therefore, I want to express our thanks to organizer for such very good event. I want to express our gratitude to all organizers who is involved to this process. I informed the European Commission was founder of this event, and therefore the other sponsors of this event. And thanks to all participants which share with us our own practice. And for us, very good news which we received yesterday. The Azerbaijan was awarded for the one project which named Asan Khidmat. This means, in translation from Azerbaijan, it means easy service. Asan, this is abbreviation, means Azerbaijan Service and Assessment Network. But in Azerbaijan language, Asan means easy. And therefore, today, this is Azerbaijan, a brand which which deliver public services to our citizens in centralized way. And I think such project exists in different countries. For example, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Russia, and other countries has such practice, but we choose their own model for these centers. And during these 2 days, during these operating years, this project show often efficiency for the delivering public services to our citizens. In these centers, we provide such services which cannot provided by electronically, and therefore we have such services. These centers today created in 8 regions of our country. We deliver this service by mobiles way too, by cars and buses. And this is show our willingness. Our government try delivery all public services very close approach to our citizens. We have e-government portal where we provide about 500 public services electronically. We have such centers where we deliver our public services, and we have other projects which fully open it to our citizens, the public resources, public services, and through this practice, we try increase the trust of our citizens to our government, trust to our services, and I think when in such way we share our practice, we will achieve most best results in our future activity. I want to wish to all participants success in our activity, and I wish close cooperation between all partners in here. Thank you very much to the organizer again.
Thank you for the kind words. And before I will give the floor to Mr. Stefanos Bezuidenhout, I will have another announcement. This time it's a happier announcement. Previously, everything was lost. Now we have found iPhone 6 in the restaurant. So if somebody is missing it, you don't have to rush out, but later you can collect it from the conference reception. But now, we had a good fortune to have people not only from our close countries in this region, but actually some of our participants traveled from quite afar. And I think Mr. Stefanos Bezuidenhout was one of the furthest in this conference. He's member of the Parliament of Namibia, and he's responsible there for the ICT and the governance issues. So I would like you to invite you here, and maybe you share your impressions from the conference. What are we doing? Are we on the right track, etc.? Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. I am a member of Parliament in the Namibian Parliament, but I am not responsible for e-governance. I am part of the ICT and Innovation Committee of Parliament, which must, as we say, follow the dollars what the Parliament approved for the government to spend on various projects. So that is in that capacity that I came to Estonia in 2011, I think, where we fell in love with the X-Road system. We then recommended it as a committee for our government to consider. Within a month after we have more or less convinced the Prime Minister, the President changed the Prime Ministers. So he decided to put another Prime Minister in there. So we had to go back sometime to chat with him and update him, and he understood. So I can just acknowledge the very high commitment of my government to pursue this route of Estonian interoperability solutions. We have started the journey by contracting the e-governance academy to implement the X-road system, and they are currently busy in Namibia just doing that. I mean, Arvo and Hannes just flew from Namibia to attend this conference, and so I will go back. I have two other colleagues. One is the lady sitting there, member of parliament, and then our staff member of parliament that joined us. And I just want to say that I thank the organizers also, because I just heard the thing very quickly in Windhoek in Namibia, and then I started to send emails to Martin. And so eventually I got the invitations and we started to arrange coming here. I want to thank them. I came to Estonia with many questions, but I leave Estonia with many answers, and many concrete answers, and many ways of looking at things differently. So I want to just highlight, I came with a question of centralization or decentralization. That was answered. Also the security, cybersecurity aspect. How do we go about it? What is the best solution? And we also discussed that this morning. So I came with questions, but I go back with answers in the form of information, in the form of experiences, sharing with various countries. And I really appreciate the delegates' openness for sharing what they do in their country, and give me, we have brochures, we have documents that we can pursue later, and really, and also we have got business cards. If we want to get out of hell, we can just send an email to some partner somewhere in the world to say, I forgot what you said about this, that, and the other, and then we can touch up again. I think we have formed an international community of e-governance users and people that aspire to do it. And I don't think that we should lose touch with each other. That's why I like the idea of e-governance academy, to keep us all, our countries, as repeaters of the great. So every year you fail, you have to repeat again, and you repeat again, so that we all build very different experiences and share different experiences. But I would very much like to thank every participating country and every delegate. It's not about the language and the challenges of languages. We understood each other very well because we had a common platform of e-governance discussions. And I want to thank all of you for your commitment, for sharing, your openness for sharing, and sharing your experience and so on. Thank you very much, E-Governance Academy, for inviting us. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you very much again for the kind words. And now I would like to invite our dear friend, Ambassador of Moldova in Estonia, Mr. Victor Guzun. You know, he's not just an ambassador, not just any ambassador. Believe me, I've seen a lot of ambassadors. I started my career in Estonia being foreign policy advisor to Estonian president. And ever since I've been quite close to many of the ambassadors, but he's a special bird here in Estonia. He has not only introduced us to many interesting things like Moldovan wines, but he has also given to the wider community something. Namely, I just came across some days ago an announcement that as there is a new book on digital Eastern Europe that has come out from the printing press, and lo and behold, Ambassador Guzun is one of the co-authors of the book. So he probably knows better than us about what is happening digitally in Eastern Europe. I haven't read it yet, I'm sorry to say that. But I'm not going to ask you to reread all the chapter. But anyway, the floor is yours, and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, dear friend, because as Moldova and Estonia are big friends. They have a lot in common. We have a lot of friends here, and you are among the best one, I could say. But yesterday in the evening, I was just sitting with my colleagues from Moldova, and somebody appears from the organizers and asked me to say something today here. And I was, just thinking, okay, what I could say to this room full of super specialists from so many countries. So just one diplomat in the smallest embassy of the Republic of Moldova outside will say. But after one moment, I just was thinking that, I'm representing Moldova in one of the most developed ICT country in the world, meaning that I have somehow to be or to behave accordingly. So what I could say, some of my friends say that we are exchanging 2 apples, we will have the same apple, 1 apple and 1 apple. But we have 2 ideas, I will have 2 ideas, and my friend will have 2 ideas. That's why I would like just to pass to you my thoughts about why I strongly believe in e-governance and ICT and e-tools and things like this. Why I'm staying in the computer, my Android or iPhone or things like this. Why I'm staying quite often in social networks, and why I have my blog, and why I'm Twitter, and why I have Estonian e-residence. And by the way, I'm the first ambassador, I think, which I have. And why our embassy is the first embassy which is changing now all the information with Estonian institutions with e-signature. But the answer is very simple. As your colleague just mentioned in the Thursday, e-tools, it's the things of efficiency, is the things of transparency, is the things of accountability, and the anti-corruption. So these things is the things for every topic in our life. Is the question of every single institution, every single ministry, every single local authority, every single university or NGO. So it's the things which cover everything. That's why diplomacy, in my opinion, is not an exception. This is something which should use these tools as well. Why? I'm representing the smallest embassy of Moldova. It's just 2 diplomats, and we have just the 3rd guy, which is the administrator driver. So no secretary, no accountant, just 2 people, and that's it. But that does not mean that if an embassy here, another embassy, have 20 employees, I should do 10 times less work than them, meaning that I'm receiving the same amount of letters, circular notes, and note verbals, and things like this, meaning that somehow I have to deal with this. Somehow I should answer to these questions in the situation when I have just 2 people. Small secret, I'm alone now in the embassy for the 2 weeks because my consul is in vacation. Yes, and I should prepare parallelly many events. And that's one of the answers to this question, why I'm using these tools. Because I just do not have resources, meaning people, and I just do not have money, meaning that I do not have to hire somebody else. My accountant is working for 2 embassies, and she's residing in Riga now. But I'm exchanging all the information and all the financial management via this very small device, no matter where I am. I'm in the room with you. I'm in a nice boat on Peipsiarv. It's a lake. Or I'm in the forest somehow, because I could operate every operations immediately online. The same, I am accountable, yes? Because if tomorrow morning or today at 4 o'clock, somebody from my ministry will ask, listen, Victor, please give me the financial report for last year. I could say, no problem, I could do it in 2 minutes. And no matter it's for a year, for a month, for a week, or for a day, or half a day, I could do it. And this, I think, makes the countries big and small. I just have seen the figures in the first day, 216 million e-signatures in Estonia. And I just divided to 1.3 million people in Estonia, including newborns. And it's 166 per person. But it's huge. And I just put in my Facebook and my Twitter, try to find a new or a better performance than this. You will not find it. And this exactly makes small countries like Estonia and like Moldova powerful. I'm discussing with people around the world from different continents and countries. I think I have a good network. Yes, and when I asking them simple questions regarding Estonia, they don't even know that it's 1.3 million people, because they know a lot about Estonia. And in their eyes, Estonia is much bigger than 1.3 million. And that's exactly the case of Moldova. We do not have oil, petroleum, oceans, and things like this. We should use our people. And I think the eGov solutions is the perfect issue for this. One day, I'm quite sure about this, everyone in this world which would like to develop the country or himself or the institution should use the tools. And, if you procrastinate this moment, if you'll say that, okay, not now, maybe next year, maybe next 10 years, or maybe 20 years, but that you see, everyone in this room have a phone with all the equipment and all kind of applications. Tomorrow, not today, not tomorrow, not in 1 year, but tomorrow, the speed is already the next one. New applications will arrive, and new practices and new things will be implemented. Meaning that the countries, people, institutions, local authorities, mayor, ambassadors, things like this, if they will not start today to implement their tools, tomorrow they will be already late, and they will never be the same like the leaders, like Estonia is. That's why I'm always pushing this, and I love this push, because time to time you don't have just to ask or to kindly ask, but you have to push. And I'm just happy to say that here in this room, it's a delegation from Moldova which is doing this every single day. We signed association agreement with the EU, and I have a big trust in this team. And I just discussed it prior to this session with Stella Mokan from the head of e-governance center. And I could say clearly, this team, it's one of the teams which moves Moldova forward. And Moldova needs such a kind of nice, beautiful stories. One more issue which I would like just to underline is to move the implementation of tools not only from the top to bottom, but vice versa as well. I discussed yesterday with colleagues, because we need probably as many good experience at local level as well. Because the mass implementation and mass understanding of the using the tools is coming from the massive use as well. And that's why I would just like to underline 5 things which I think Estonia did, and Moldova and every country should do. This banking system, because everyone it's using money, if they have, sure. It's e-school. I think this is really important. I'm discussing with the people from our community, Moldovan community here, 134 people, small amount of people, but they are showing me when I'm meeting at the football games how the kids, which kind of notes they have today and which kind of remarks the teacher have to this particular kid. Meaning that if a kid have 2 parents and maybe 2 grandparents and things like this, everyone starts to understand that this is beneficial. I think it's important, the e-healthcare system, and I'm just proud to say that Moldovan institutions involved in Ministry of Healthcare and our analog of Haigea Casa, the Agency for Payment in Medicine, is implementing Estonian case. I think it's agriculture. This is important for my country. And I'm proud to say, I have to say nice words about Moldova and Estonia as well. It's my profession. But the Agency for Payment in Agriculture, the e-tool system now I'm implementing in Moldova as well, and sure everything what's connected with business environment. And here I just would like to underline, it's shortage of time? No. Just to underline some of the issues, how quickly people are bringing these nice examples. And I just asked the colleagues, for the e-invoice, already 85% of users from the state institutions in Moldova. It was introduced in 2014, last year. In autumn, it was mandatory for the institution, and already 85% of the invoices are electronical in Moldova. Just in 1 year, less than 1 year. Meaning that people understand quickly how this works. The same with e-license. Now I just got the last from Stella, 96% of the people which have the license, it's online already. And a nice, beautiful story with criminal record. It's simple thing, criminal record. But nevertheless, to obtain, till 2012, to obtain a criminal record, you have to travel to one particular office, to stay in the queue, to apply, to pay in the bank, to come back with the cash, with this invoice. And after a period of time, you should come back and to bring this criminal record. It's just a piece of paper, like how in this one. I got, when I became ambassador, they asked, I do not have any criminal cases, so I did the same. But now 98% from 2012, people in Moldova got them via internet. One more moment which I would like to underline, it was the question of leadership. We have to have leaders which are really leaders in implementing eGov. And I really would like to ask as many leaders, political leaders in Moldova and across the world, to make a lobby for eGov, because this should be an agenda for them as well. Now, I will say a little bit why I'm using and why I love computers and what makes my personal job much easier. First of all, I'm receiving information, quick, reliable, from different sources. And I'm, if some members of Estonian parliament are here, but I'm a friend in Facebook and Twitter with the majority of them, and frankly speaking, we could discuss this day and night. And we could exchange view immediately. Is the question of communication, how I could communicate what I'm doing. Not because I would like to say what I did, but if, for example, a delegation from, I don't know, Minister of Economy, they have seen that Minister of Agriculture are here, are implementing one tool, I'm informing them, and why not? Maybe they would like also to do something like this. And I could say that in my ordinary internet page of the embassy, estoniamfa.md, if I count, per day could be 40, 50, 70 entrances. But I had on my embassy profile on Facebook 6,000 and even 7,000 views per day, if it's something really interesting. Thousands, I mean. So it's a huge gap. Why not to use this? Somebody asked me, do you have probably I had a special story. We have a student in the School of Diplomacy. And all of them, they are making the practice in the embassy. And someone is coming to me and I'm asking, could I make the practice in the embassy? I say, yes, of course you could do it. But just write me half a page why. And he came back to the office and asked me via email, but may I have the practice in the PR department of the embassy? I said, of course you could. Yes, just 2 people in the embassy. But why I'm saying this? Because why not to use something which is really working? One more important issue is crisis management. We are, between ambassadors, we are making the jokes that, oh, nobody's coming to the embassy, things like this. But be sure, if they have a trouble, they will come to the embassy, they will call to the embassy. That's why when I arrived, after 15 seconds, if nobody's reaching the phone, it's immediately redirecting to our mobile phones. I know it's not usual, but we are confident that no crisis situation will just overpass something like this. And I could say that yesterday in the morning at 7 o'clock, somebody called me from one very critical situation in one country. I don't know why he called me, because it's not my responsibility. But this shows, I think, a lot. Or, for example, the case with 27 tourists of Moldova, we just stuck in the one particular airport. But it's another things. One more issue, it's the management. No matter what I am, I could operate the embassy. I could operate everything. I could send all the documents. I could receive all the documents, including to absolutely all Estonian institutions. Once again, I just happy to make a little bit of PR of this Plus ID, because they made a gift yesterday to me. But all people in the embassy have Estonian e-residence. And, being a little bit pioneering, it's a little bit, it's not so easy. But I think I called the Minister of Foreign Affairs for some 10 times just to ask why I cannot say digitally signed documents. So they made some special, meetings there. And after this, they told me that I was the first embassy and the first ambassador which I sent e-signed documents. But after this, our employees there, we are sending only this kind. And just imagine if it's a VIT refund application for the entire embassy and embassy staff, this could be 50, 60, 70 pages. So I have to receive them, I have to print them, I have to be in the office, but if I'm all the time in the office, I'm not efficient. Because I'm here not to stay in the office. Because if I'm staying in the office, what is the result? I could stay in the same nice, beautiful office in Chisinau, or in Kiev, or in a boat on Peipsi Lake. That's true, because I have all the communications. Meaning that if something happens, I could send every document immediately to every state institution and I receive it. So after printing, after doing everything, I have to send the driver. But if the driver, I'm here now, and only the driver is in the embassy. If I send the driver to the police department, he have to lose 1 hour or 2 hours, go and back. So it's the question of resources. Why not to use something which is really working? Promotion of goods. I'm finishing. Promotion of goods, I think, is very important, and I'm just happy to say that Estonia is helping us with us. But just in the end, last moment, why I'm using, we have third or 25, a third of our population abroad. They are working in different countries. We have to somehow to connect them to Moldova. And I think e-tools is perfect way to do it. In the end, I just would like to thank e-Governance Academy, because as I mentioned just in my start of my speech, they are really big supporters, and you are really pushing out, together with the colleagues from Moldova, our e-governance agenda. Number two, I just would like to continue to do this kind of help to Moldova, because as Finland, Sweden, Norway, and different countries helped you some years ago, please help us now, because we need your help. And number three, I think this ICT conference, it's a super event, because now with the speed of development of these e-tools, I'm quite sure that next year we'll have plenty of the topics which were undiscussed here. So thank you very much, and thank you to everyone here. I'm on Facebook, on Twitter. Just become friends with me, and let's promote Moldova and your countries together. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think we can't agree more. I mean, it is a way for the small countries to become big. And it's also a story of a small organization like EGA to have this kind of influence around the world. Because I remember, I mean, now we are big. We have already 21 persons working for us full time. But some time ago, when we were smaller, it was always like you described your situation. So I was flying around the world and kind of creating the presence. But you had to be here and run the place at the same time. And the e-tools were the way to how I could do it. I mean, by digitally signing documents and communicating. I mean, the Skype just came about, and it was really because of the technologies that we were able to do it. But now, well, we'll continue this. Nice discussions in other venues. I would just like to thank for the, at the end the sponsors who made this event possible. And first of all, it's the European Commission, Estonian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, especially its Development Cooperation Section, Estonian Center for Eastern Partnership, Microsoft, Swedish International Development Agency, Oracle, Tilde, Plus ID, Tallinn University of Technology, and Effecta Solutions. So you see, we have already a lot of support. If you can recruit more for the next year, we'll have a bigger one. For the time being, I would like to wish you all a safe trip back home, and looking to see you somewhere. I'm sure we will, and for sure next year in the Tallinn 2016 conference. So thank you all.